Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Learning in Bits. Today I'm going to continue from where I stopped the last time, which was modeling this basic lamp, and the goal is to eventually texture it and animate it. But for us to animate it, we need to rig it first. All right, so today we're just going to go straight in and continue from where we stopped. One thing that I didn't do in the previous class was to save this project, and it's very important that we always save. So, the first thing you want to do anytime you start a Maya project is to go to File, Project Window, right here on that project. You click on it, it opens up this project window tab, and you want to create a new project. It could be anything for you, and once you've done that, you want to accept. What this does is it creates all of the subfolders that you might eventually use to complete this project. Now the next thing you want to do is go back to File and click on Set Project, and you'll see if you have a couple of projects, is to ask you where are you trying to direct this file or this project to. And I'm going to click on lamp animation because that's where I want to save everything I'm doing regarding this project, and I'll click set. The next thing you want to do is save scene as, and I'm going to call this lamp O1 because you could save incrementally, and we'll talk about that subsequently. But you will notice that Maya has by default created a project lamp animation and is going to save this model in the scenes folder, and we do save as. All right, so now let's continue from where we stopped. All right, the next thing that is a good practice is to make sure that you delete all of the history and freeze transforms to ensure that nothing goes wrong eventually. All right, I will talk about the specifics later, but you could select one model, for example, and if you go to Edit, Delete by Type, History, you can see the shortcut. This is for those who prefer to use shortcuts. But interestingly, you can find those same commands and tools here. Right here, you have center pivot, you have delete by type, history, and then freeze transforms. So what freeze transform does is it tells Maya that this is going to be more like the new origin, because if you look here in the channel box, there are just so many numbers, and sometimes it's quite tricky to keep track of those numbers. So I'm just going to select everything, and I will hit these three tabs. All right, now notice that here from the previous class we had changed the pivot point. So I'm going to select everything because I don't want to mess up with the pivot point, and I'm going to deselect this particular mesh by holding down Control on the keyboard, and that is deselected from the selection. Then I can center pivot so that I retain the pivot point there. The next thing that is a very good practice is to give names to all of your assets so that it's easily identifiable in the outliner. This section is the outliner. It kind of lists every part of the mesh or the assets that are in your workspace. All right, so you could double click here and give it a name. I'm just looking good, and now I can save it. It's always a good practice to save every now and then because anything could go wrong. Now, one thing I want us to note that if I hit 1, I'm going to have the default display. If I hit 2, Maya is going to show me what the smooth version of this mesh will look like as against the hard default version. If I hit 3, I'm going to see only the smooth version. If I hit 4, that is for wireframe, and 5 is also back to Lambert shaded display. So 1, I'm going to keep it at 1. Now I'm going to talk about soft and hard surfaces in a subsequent video. Well, what we could do here is, if we want to keep this shape here from deforming, we have to go to mesh tools and select this tool called insert edge loop. What it does, it allows you to insert an edge loop right here, and it helps to keep that shape intact, all right, so that it doesn't deform too much. All right, so but right now it's not really a big problem for me, because I kind of want my surfaces to look rough, but that's the kind of style I'm going for. I think I can add some edge loops here just to keep the shape here. I'm going to activate my tool again, which is you can hit on G to reactivate the previous tool. You can hit G on your keyboard to reactivate the previous tool. So I'm going to also add another edge loop there. All right, so what this does is it keeps that shape intact. For example, if I go back to my object mode and I hit 3, you see I have a smooth version, all right, even though it's a smooth display. And yeah, so I think I might need to add some edge loops here just to keep that shape from deforming too much, even though it's not really a big problem, but I think it would be nice to add those edge loops. So I'm going to my wireframe so I can see through, and I'm going to hit G to reactivate my last tool. So I'm going to put an edge loop right close to the edge to keep that shape from deforming, and I'll do the same thing here. I think I need to do the same thing on this one, so I'll hit G again to reactivate my insert edge loop tool, and I'm just going to keep this close to the edge here, and one more here. All right, so I think this is fine. I'm going to hit 5 again. So what this does is, if I select everything and hit 3, it's going to try as much as possible to keep the shape together, which is fine. All right, so I think we can stop here for now, but remember, it's a good practice to always delete history and freeze transform. So once again, I'm going to select everything, and I'm going to freeze, delete history. Once again, I'm going to deselect this so that I don't mess up with the pivot point. And yeah, don't forget to save. So in the next class, I'm going to try to rig this, and I'll introduce you to the concept of rigging and the different ways you can rig this table lamp. So don't forget to subscribe, so that you can be notified when I post new videos. Alright, so it looks like we're making some progress. See you in the next video. Bye for now.